In this video, I'm going to show you guys how to do what's called a delayed payment. And all that means is you're pushing out when you're going to price drop, because as soon as you tell the customer or the prospect the price, they are now in control. So hope you guys enjoy the video. Check it out.
All right, man. It's another day in the land of sales. Here we go. All right. So, yeah, guys, I mean, the fun part about doing this right now is I've been able to basically just give you guys live feedback on calls I'm having and break stuff down. I haven't taken calls in years. And because I've been taking some calls now that I've been back, every week I'm trying to bring you guys different scenarios to see how I would handle it, right? So what I'm going to do today, and then maybe next training, we're going to do like maybe just actual sales training, is go through a different type of call where I don't price drop. And I'll kind of explain to you guys like why I do that. So let me get my stuff ready to share with you. And then, yeah, we're good to go. Okay, here we go. So I'll kind of show you guys the whole process A to Z. Okay. So this is a call with a guy who needs sales reps. Okay. So what I'll do is I will show you guys what the application looked like so you guys can see it like from start to finish. Okay. So you guys can see like what happens with my team. So we'll go to, this was, I forget what his name was. Hold on. And then, okay. So perfect. So we'll go in here, and this is how my team does it. I know some of you reps, it doesn't matter, but business owners. So it says, what's your Instagram handle? Do you make $1,500 or more, or sell something for $1,500 or more? What's your press or what's your current offer? We do press and social, 10K a month. They do $100,000 plus a month. They say they need a closer. Okay. So this is more of like our placement offer. Okay. So this guy already says too, he's like, I need to discuss it over with someone before I make a decision. So that's good to know, right? Because then when he gets on the call, I can pre-frame and see what he's going to do. And then I'll kind of walk you guys through the pillars. Now, this is my normal document. So typically when I'm taking a sales call for business owners, they want to build a business. This one's a little different because they already have a business. Okay. So, and they want sales reps. So I'm not going to pitch him on this because that's not really what he wants, right? The pillars is your presentation on why they should pick you. So as I go through this call, I'll show you guys how I kind of change what I say, and it's kind of on the fly. You don't have to do stuff on the fly. Like obviously, like I could have prepped better and I could have like known ahead of time, but I've just taken so many calls that what I do is like, as I'm asking the questions, I figure out what it is that I need to know. And then from there, I'm able to formulate my pillars. Okay. So here we go. And then what's your role in the company?
I'm the CMO. So I'm more like,
CMO.
Okay. Have you seen giveaways? Have you seen our celebrity giveaways? We've been doing it for like 4 or 5 years.
I think so.
Yeah. So I set up the majority of the celebrities. I've gotten the majority of the clients in the past before we set up our sales team.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, so let me pull up so I'll try to do my best with you. Okay, here we go. So yeah, let's start at the top. Obviously you need closers. What I've got down right now is you guys are doing about 100,000 a month. You do press and social media. It's 10,000 a month. Is that accurate?
Yep.
Okay. And who's doing like all the sales and stuff right now?
Like Luke and me will still have clients come in and we'll handle them, but our appointments are set up to our closing team.
Got it. Okay.
Like
So
from our ads and our manual SDR team through our Instagram DMs, those are all set up to closers. And we have right now, like we had 8, we just got rid of half the teams. We're down. Oh, no. We have 5 left, 5 guys left.
All right. Okay. So let me get some info so I can understand. That sounds a little much. Okay. So you guys are doing 100. Okay. So remember, most closers, if they're making 10% of a sale, then the business needs to make about $100,000 per closer on average. Not always. Like newer closers, you guys will take less, like 5 to 8 grand, right? But like a more seasoned closer, most want 10K plus. So when he says that, I'm immediately like, okay, that sounds like too many people, right? Because if he's not doing 800,000 a month minimum, that doesn't work. And if you think about it, top closers can make 20 to 30K a month. So I'm like, okay, well, like some make more. So I'm just thinking like, okay, so even if he had even if he was doing 800,000, he probably still only needs 4 or 5 people. Right. So immediately like bells are going off in my head, like there's something wrong. Right. And I just point this stuff out so you guys can see how I think. If you understand the person and like what they need, it's easy to like understand these things and be able to sell them because you understand the situation. 300,000 a month, $10,000 offer. So you guys get
no. Yeah, we're doing about $500,000 a month.
You're doing $500,000 a month. Okay, so on here,
Yeah.
Okay, so
yeah, bro. That's because your survey says 100K plus, so I had no room to pick more.
Okay, so you guys are doing $500,000 a month.
400 or 500K. That's what it's about. 400 or 500K.
Okay.
And then once that we have the giveaways, we touch $1 million.
Okay. And just so I understand, like, what exactly are you guys selling again? Just like describe it to me. So if I buy it from you, what do I get?
Right. So you can buy a Google takeover. Should I tell you the biggest things we could offer, or should I, like how do you?
It's like on average. Like I'm just trying to. Okay. Also, he's like, "Do you want me to tell you everything?" I'm like, "No, just tell me the average because I don't need to know everything. I just need to know kind of what's the ticket price, right? So I can put those numbers in my head." Again, I'm just walking you guys through how I think, like why I'm asking that. Okay. Understand your company
sure.
On average.
On average, someone will sign up for press or social media at $10,000 a month, either social or press, $10,000 a month. And usually the lead in is with press. So that's like USA Today, Forbes, that's earned media, that's tier 1 placements. And then we obviously tier 2 articles, but yeah, that'll be around 10K a month, depending on the exact package they choose. And then social media is around 10K a month to our press clients that are already on. So we really don't sell social media services to clients to prospects. We sell social media services to our clients. Does that make sense?
Yep. Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
And like, how long does your average client stay? Like, do they stay forever? Do they stay for like 1 month, 3 months, 6 months?
Yeah. So it'll be on average, I'd say on average 6 months, right? Unless it's social media. Social media, we usually got them forever.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
and
social media is longer. Press is like 5-6 months.
Okay. And just so I understand, when they pay you for quote unquote social media, is that you just posting their stuff? Is that you're doing giveaways for them? Like what's included in that?
Giveaways I'm not even going to talk about because like we sell out every campaign. That's not really a bottleneck or an issue. And then so social media will be management, content creation, content ideas, all of that. And it's daily posting.
Okay. And then
mainly short form video content. So like IG Reels, TikTok videos, YouTube Shorts. You know what I'm talking about.
Okay. And then the goal for you guys is like, are you guys just trying to like double the business, get as big as you can? Is that it's
100%, get as big as we can.
Okay.
Like
right.
ideally we'd have 20 closers all rushing, doing multi-millions a month.
Okay. And then what's your struggle right now in your eyes? I mean, obviously I know you also notice, you guys see how I just go question to question to question? Like I don't say anything. I don't need to. I'm not giving him advice yet. I'm just right here. Clarified in pre-frame, and now we're in the overview. So I'm just going question to question to question so I can understand everything. Okay, just keep that in mind. Like if you want to help someone, you have to understand the situation. So I'm not giving him advice yet because I don't need to, because I can't give him advice till I understand the situation. That's why a lot of you guys are like, well, Tanner, why do you move so fast? Part's experience, but part of it's like, because once I understand the situation, I can now give him advice. I'm not asking questions if I already know what's going on. Okay. All right. So here we go. Need closers, but what's the issue with the closers? What is going on?
Yeah, I mean, that is the struggle. Like our Facebook ads do really well. We actually have to tailor them back because the closers aren't matching it, kind of thing. We recently found out our ideal client too. So I mean, that's a part of it is getting the right leads through the pipeline. Because we want to target people that are doing at least 10 million a year in business. And like those are the people we really want to go after.
Okay.
So obviously getting those clients is a little harder. But really it comes down to the closers, and just like we'll bring a new one on and they'll drop off after 2 to 4 weeks.
Okay. So that's important. So if someone's getting hired constantly and then they keep dropping off, what can I know? It might be a business issue, right? If you're constantly hiring people and people aren't staying, there's a problem, right? So again, like, I just want you guys to see as I pause, like these are thoughts I'm having during the call. It looks like I'm not thinking, I get it, but I'm thinking as this guy's talking. So walk me through that. Why are they dropping off in your opinion?
Probably because it takes months to build up to be good. Like we do have closers that are doing well.
Well, explain that to me. So it takes months to build up. Like if it's a 10K package, why does it take months?
Because they got,
meaning I'm asking, well, if they're getting 10% commission, why does it take months to build up? Right. That's what I was asking. So I'm clarifying.
They got to learn the product. Like press is kind of an involved
You're
thing.
you're just saying they suck. It's not that
Yeah.
time to make money and they're just not good.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
They're not good. They're not good. They get frustrated. They leave or we get rid of them. Right.
Okay. So my head's immediately like, no sales training, no management, no processes. They're probably not good at hiring, right? It might just be bringing on whoever. Those are all thoughts that are going in my head. Okay. Okay. And you said you had, how many closers do you have now?
5.
Okay. So you have 5 closers. You guys are doing, let's say you're doing $500,000 a month. So what do you guys pay them?
They will get 10% commission.
Okay.
And then on upsells, it's less.
All right. So question for you is like, why do you guys have 5 closers in your opinion? Like, why do you have 5 closers?
What do you mean? Why?
Well, I mean, like if I'm a closer and I can make 10%, typically top closers can make 20 to 30 grand a month.
That's exactly what our top closer makes.
Okay. So what, I mean, well, then that just means there's less money for everyone else. That's what I'm trying to understand. So if I have 5 closers and I do $500,000 a month at 10%, that's 100,000 a closer. So my question is like, why do you need 5 closers? If 500,000, like to me, 500,000, you need like 3, maybe 4. Well, okay. So I'm gonna answer the question. If a company is doing 500,000 a month and they have 5 closers, let's say they're all full. Why are they all full? Does anyone know?
The process probably takes really long, probably a pretty thorough or long process. So they're overwhelmed for a longer period of time.
Not the answer I'm looking for, but that's a good idea. Someone else, think about it. Think it through. So if the company's doing 500,000 a month and they have 5 closers and one closer is making most of the money, we already know the other closers are not making a lot of money. So what does that probably tell us is happening? I want to see if anyone knows. It's like, this is how you think through as a business owner.
Are they funneling the leads to the top closer and then everyone else is getting bled dry?
Not that. One more try. Someone tell me. Okay, so think about it. Go ahead. Here you go.
Training, experience. I mean, maybe when they hired them, they didn't vet them properly.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're.
Did you hear me?
Yeah, we heard you. You just came through super slow, but I heard you. Okay, so got the answer right. They're not getting quality leads. So think about this. If you're getting $500,000 a month, you got a good product, you're selling it. But if you have 5 closers and one closer is making 20 to 30 and the other ones are making a lot less, that probably tells me one of 2 things. Either A, those closers suck, or you suck at training them, or B, that they're letting too many people get to the calendars. So all the leads that the other closers are taking are. Listen to what do I say. So watch what I say. Okay.
Well, that's the thing. The top closer and the bottom closer, there's a huge discrepancy. Like we have a closer on right now that's supposed to like 1 deal all month.
Okay.
Like
so,
with the 5 we have on are not all performing like the top one, you know?
Okay. So like, walk me through what they make in a month on average. So it's like your top guy makes this, next guy.
Top guy makes 20 to 30, and then the bottom guy is making like a few K, like small amount.
Okay. And what are the guys in the middle making?
Like 7 to 10.
Okay. All right.
Only one person's making that much, by the way. The top closer, there's only one. And then the second one is like around 10, and then it's like down there.
Okay. So the question is like, why don't you just focus on like less closers, but they can make more? Like, why not just have like 3 guys, for example?
No, their schedules are all filled with appointments. Our problem.
Boom. You hear it? So why don't you just have less closers and have them be more busy? Think about it from a business owner perspective. Is it better to have 5 guys to manage who all make a little money? Or is it better to have less people who make more? Studies will say that it's better to have less people who make more money than more people who make less. Okay. The reason is you get higher quality talent, easier to manage, easier to train, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay.
It's not getting appointments for the closers.
Okay. So how many appointments per day does a closer have for you?
It'd be like 8. Well, our top guy makes himself available for like 10 hours a day. So he's doing like 8, 9 calls, assuming no shows, right?
Okay. Yeah. So, but they're getting like just all your guys that get 10 calls a day, or like what's the average?
No. What's the average? Like 6.
6. Okay. All right. And then where are you guys getting your closers from right now?
We have like ads on Indeed and like LinkedIn, that type of thing.
Okay. What's Like what's happened with that? I mean, obviously they haven't worked out, but like what happened with them?
Actually,
Okay, so far what we know is they do $500,000 a month. One of the guys makes all the money, the rest don't. They're obviously on this call asking for help, so I can assume that they probably have bad sales training and management and systems and operations. Okay, they've talked to a company called who's given them some reps, so that's good for me to know because that's what they've tried before, right? So it's like, okay, I'm going to start trying to find out about so I can basically say, here's what we do better than the companies you've worked with, not to talk bad about them, but so that they can see the difference. Okay. Yeah, a lot of good stuff. Like, and this, again, this is all within 8 minutes, like just understanding the situation fully.
I'm kind of in the process, like with you, negotiating a deal. They're offering like 4 guaranteed closers we're happy with for so much a month type thing.
Okay. So when you say so much a month, like they're going to charge you monthly as long as you have them?
I'm not quite sure what their deal is yet because I haven't gotten to that place with them. But they're like someone we're talking with, like you and I right now, setting up this meeting.
Okay. So right now you guys find people on Indeed and LinkedIn. What's your hiring process look like? So like I get on an interview with you, you like me, and then like what happens from there? Day one of work.
It'll be onboarding, so they got to learn the packages, and then they'll do some mock calls, and then they'll get set up on appointments.
Okay. So how fast, if you hire me, do I start taking live calls?
Probably in a week.
Okay. Okay. So that's also like, that's pretty fast to start taking calls. Okay. It depends, but it's like, if they're doing $500,000 a month, they should be able to find some pretty high quality reps. Someone who comes in a week, if they're new and they're struggling, like that's probably not enough time. And
just say hypothetically, you wouldn't actually be a closer on our team, would you?
No, no, of course not.
Yeah.
But like so they come on, you practice calls with the team for a week and then like you let them run. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Theoretically, they could be making money after a week. They're closing deals. You know what I mean?
Okay. Do you have a sales manager?
Yes.
Okay.
The sales manager right now is my brother, and we're currently trying to hire a sales manager, so it's not my brother.
Okay. So like if I was, okay. Again, that also helps me know probably don't have good systems and training in place. Why? If the CEO is the sales manager and the CEO has a lot of responsibilities, what does that mean? He can't possibly be managing 5 guys super well, right? Because even if that's all he can't do that all day. And if you met with each guy for an hour a day, like a real sales manager is trying to meet with his guys and like be on calls, it's not possible. I was on this call and I'm like, hey, you're the sales manager. Why does your sales team suck ass? What would he say?
He would say we have trouble finding talent.
Okay. So hiring issue. Is it in your eyes, you guys have great training, great management, it's just all talent.
Great product. The product we have is stellar. Like we have insane testimonials. You can look at our website. It's we're top of the line in terms of product.
Okay, so let me pull that up. I have it right here.
Yeah.
Let me see it real quick. Okay. And your guys' ads convert and stuff like that, obviously. I mean, do you guys get most of your traffic is coming from paid ads?
Paid ads and then Instagram DMs.
Clever, more. Okay. All right. And when you say Instagram DMs, like from shout outs, you guys are DMing them or like you mean
DMing them? No, DMing them. Like I have someone in my DMs. Well, it's like a real person. It's not a bot or something. Like I have someone in my DMs, there's someone in DMs, there's someone in IK's DMs, and we're outreaching every day.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. Okay. And you guys haven't tried anything else. So you're basically on the hunt right now. Looks like you guys are window shopping. You're kind of seeing what's out there.
Correct. You're window shopping in terms of finding closers?
Yeah, you're kind of like, you're talking to different companies and like.
That's right. But hypothetically, you're good, Closeify is good. We do both. You know what I mean? It's not like, we're going to go with one or the other.
Why would you go with both?
Because we're trying to get as many closers as possible that are good.
Okay. I guess so. Like, walk me through this. Mm-hmm. If you're doing 500,000 a month, I just do simple math. Like, okay, 10%. So that's about $50,000 of commissions a month. Most of the top closers, like if you want a beast, you want like an absolute savage. That's really good. They're usually going to be 20K a month, like the best. The more.
No, that's what we can deliver with our product.
Okay. So so what I'm getting at though is part of the reason you guys probably don't have as good of closers is you have too many, right? I know you guys are saying you're filling up their calendars, but hey, you guys see how like I'll start diagnosing the situation. Okay. It's like there's only so much commission. So if you guys are doing month now, well, I mean, granted, it's gonna be one of two things. It's either A, you guys are like, hey, these closers really are that bad, or B, it's like you guys are letting too many people on the calendars And you know, like, so if I put in a top closer and he only makes a month, like he's going to dip. Obviously, they're going to dip too. So in your eyes, though, just so I can clear, you're like, no, like we're putting.
No, honestly, there's some truth to that, bro. Because what we do is with our leads, we rank them out of 5, and obviously our top closer gets the top leads. It's like, well, you know that movie. You know that movie with the golden ticket with the gold. You know what movie is that?
Yeah, we do the same thing. So
Okay.
all I want you to understand from this call is if you like, let's say hypothetically, I bring you in a beast and you're just giving them all a bunch of, what do you think those guys do? Well, this, like I can go sell somewhere else. So the part of what I want you understanding is like just booking as many calls as possible is not really optimal, and it's not really necessary. Like if the calls are good, great, but there's a balance with the business. Like just so you know, like I was doing 2 million a month with 4 closers. 4. You're talking about doing 1 million closers and you guys are at $500,000, which is a great number, by the way. It's very impressive. Congrats. But that would be, we'll get into that, but that's why I'm asking. Okay.
I do see what you're saying. I do see what you're saying, and that's right. Yeah, it's a combination of both.
Cool. Okay. So you run paid traffic, you got good offer, 10K, you got a couple closers, you fired a bunch, you guys do Indeed and LinkedIn, you're kind of looking around. And so ultimately, like what it seems like is happening, you're getting on calls, you kind of fill it out, you guys go back to you and kind of make a decision, correct?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So is the person who's making the call. So I decide right now, like I'm not going to drop any price. There's no point. I want to get on the call. I want to talk to the guy who's going to make the call. So if I have to, I'll go ahead and push through the call. But I already know it's like, there's no point dropping the price. So all I'm going to do is I'm recording this video first off. I'm going to go through the pillars and then I'm going to send the call to Luke, and then Luke's going to watch and be like, just as he hears me, it's going to build a lot of trust probably. And then he'll get back on a call with me. Right. Okay. So what I'm going to try to do then is I'm going to go through what I call 3 pillars on like what I think we could do for you.
Okay.
When we're done with that. Okay. So now I'm done with overview and uncovering. So I'm now going to come down here, and you guys really just heard me label the problem, right? I was like, so you got this. Does that sound right? Yeah. Great. Now I'm coming down to this. Okay. But you guys are going to see me do different pillars off the fly, because these pillars here for like business owners trying to scale their business with like marketing strategies like that. Okay. I don't know. We'll see like where it goes, because it'll depend on like how much you really like know exactly what you guys want. If you don't, then it might be good if I get on a call with you and to just get some more, like a couple particulars where you.
You know what, Tanner? I think that would be the right move.
Okay. Also notice, like I just delayed the call and it sounded very natural, right? Like I wanted to delay the call and he was like, yeah, for sure. Definitely. I'm like, great. That's literally what I wanted. If he had fought me on that, then I would have worked around it. But he didn't. So I'm like, I'm perfect now. So now I can go through the pillars, but I don't have to pitch.
So let's still go, but I think it's going to lead to that.
Okay, great. So great. And then I'll send you this recording too, so he can watch it if you want. So that'd be great. Okay.
Yep. And he can answer these questions a little bit better than I can.
Great. So no problem. Okay. So the first pillar then would be sales management and training. So kind of what we were just talking about a little bit. A lot of times what I see as an issue is, let's say you go out and you just start hiring people and you're like, hey, just bring me a load of closures. The issue, if you do that without any sales management or training or KPIs, like the first thing I want to do is like, look at your system. Because if I see your system, what I need to know with my team is, first off, is like, how good are these leads really and how many closures do they really need? Because if like all the leads are on fire, then it's like, yeah, get rid of, like, we got to get new closers and there's an issue there. But if the other issue is like, hey, we're just putting leads on the calendar and not all of these really should be making the calendar, you got to understand, like, how many.
No, dude, you're definitely right there. There is definitely some truth to that.
Okay.
Like ideally we get all 5 out of 5 leads, of course.
Right. So there's a balance. It doesn't mean every lead has to be perfect, but understand that the smaller your team is, I want you to understand this, the smaller your team is, the better it is. It's like big teams is like, you only need a big team if it's necessary. You don't want a big team, because the more guys you have, the more management it takes, the more guys, and realistically is like, if handling 5 guys, there's no way they're all getting high quality training, because there's not enough time in the day. Even if he was only doing that all day and he worked with one guy an hour a piece, that's 2 hours per guy. I mean, that's all he could do. And I know he's not just doing that. So that'd be a full-time sales manager. Full-time sales manager to do that, but you can't. So
these 5 guys also have been with us the longest. Like they've been with us all for like 8 months to 2 years.
Okay. Something else real quick. What's the mantra for business owners for hiring? What's the saying? Hire slow, fire fast, right? So he just goes, yeah, these guys have been with us for 8 months to 2 years. I'm thinking, wow, like these guys probably aren't very good then. Because if they've been with you for that long and they're not improving, either your training's trash right? Because a lot of times business owners, they place blame on the team, but it's either their training's bad or they're just like the closers are not good. Either way, it's the business owner's fault because the business owners are the ones who hire and the business owners are the ones who's trained, right? So if you hire the wrong person, it's your fault. And if you train, it's your fault. It's also better just to live your life where everything's your fault, just like as a FYI. Okay.
So these are, yeah, they've been with us for a while.
Okay. So yeah, so there's a couple things there. Like first thing is I would want to do is come on, we would do sales management and training, then also look at your systems. For example, if a guy's been with you for 8 months to 2 years and he still sucks, he shouldn't still be there. So there's either a system issue or you guys have a training or like management issue because they shouldn't still be there if they suck. And if they don't suck, then it's like, then what's going on in the system? There's something off. Okay. So that's number one is like,
yeah, a couple of them definitely suck.
Okay. So the first thing is like diagnosing the issue, sales management, training systems. We bring everything in that you need in terms of KPIs, projections, how to train them, all that type of stuff, clean house of anyone who doesn't, and then bring new guys in. That would be step one. Okay. Now that part's done. If whoever you guys go with, whatever you do, I highly recommend you do not just hire someone who just gives you closers and they're like, hey, good luck. That is not what you guys will need. If you don't have it dialed in, it's like, again, I did $2 million a month with 4 closers because we had a very streamlined process. We only put people on the calendar that were, I shouldn't say. Okay. So also like I'm getting him to be like, again, I'm making my idea his idea. I don't want him to go hire someone who just gives them a bunch of closers. That's not what they need. They need someone who actually gives them that. And so I'm also like hedging my bets against these other companies he's talking to, right? Good list, but they were qualified. Like we went through a process. They all get vetted. It's not just like, some people literally, they came on the ad, they just booked the call. Like you're going to get a lot of pissed off sales guys because they're talking to the wrong people. Okay. So that's
right. Yeah, we do have a lead in form that asks the right questions for sure.
Okay. Number 2 is, so that first process is just like diagnose the issue, bring it up, training, look at your systems, all that. You guys are in a good spot, but if you really want 4x your revenue, another level of the game, right? So we got to have that really dialed in.
For sure, bro. 2
is then what I call a 100x interview. So what you guys are doing is pretty typical. You're basically going on LinkedIn, Indeed, etc. The difference with like what we can do is like we have a full-time staff who's going out and basically vetting and interviewing and recruiting these types of individuals, right? So when we bring them to you, we've already done a lot of the legwork. And realistically, like you guys probably, let's say max, you do 20 interviews, you pick from that. We're doing hundreds of interviews, and then we're bringing you down the best 5 to 10, and you guys can pick from that. So you're getting a much larger sample size than you can possibly do on your own. Now, if you're talking to other companies, you're like, cool, they say that too. Here's the difference with us. If you guys are mainly trying to get to 2 mil a month, I'm actually built a company that's done 2 mil a month, right? So
was that a different company than this one? Are you talking about
it was Elite CEOs. It was Elite CEOs.
Okay.
So back it up. So it's a different company than this offer, correct? Right. So this is the sales recruiting agency, but look, what I did is I built the sales team for Elite CEOs and okay, again, why am I bringing that up? Because he's already said, but the hard part about being in a competitive market is there's a lot of options. The good part is that there's a lot of options, meaning there's a lot of customers. But that's why typically in our sales call, we always go over process, because I'm like, if there were 10 people in front of you and they all said they could build your sales team, how would you pick? That's what I'm trying to do here, because no matter what you say on some calls, depending on the prospect, it's all going to sound similar. If you're like selling a fitness program, it's not going to sound as similar because a lot of fitness trainers, they suck at selling and they say the same things as every other trainer. So you're going to stand out. But if like they're talking to multiple sales recruiting agencies who all say they're masters at sales and all this other stuff, right? Like I got to try to pull myself apart. So this isn't the smoothest sales call I've had, but I'm trying, like, as I'm going, I'm like thinking, okay, like I got to separate myself, because other sales recruiting agencies are going to say that they can do interviews. Now that's still something he can't do. So I need to say that, but these other agencies are going to say the same thing. So I'm like, how can I separate myself here? That's why I would like throw this in. Okay. And we still have, okay. Like I don't even usually take these calls, dude. Like I haven't taken a call in like 6 years, full transparency, but I just got back in the country and we were overbooked today. So here I am. Right.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I don't usually take calls. Never. In a long time. So just.
Are you taking it with me then? You just saw my Instagram. You're like, okay, this guy's I should probably get on.
Just overbooked today. Overbooked. And so I'm here to help my team. And so instead of pushing you out and stuff, it's like just get them on. I mean, it doesn't happen like very often, but when it does happen, sometimes I'll jump in. But again, it's very rare. Like I here and there, maybe over the last couple of years, very rare. I take a call. Anyways, the point I'm trying to get to is there's a lot of sales training and recruiting companies, but very few have actually hit the level of revenue you're looking for. So again, yes, they could just provide closers and setters, but I think part of what you guys are going to be looking for is also kind of like the direction or exactly what to fix, because if they don't know that stuff, they don't know what to look for.
No, I think you're right.
Okay.
I agree.
So that's number 2 is 100x interview. So number 1, sales management and training processes, streamline that. Number 2 is 100x interviews. And then also working with someone who's actually hit the number you're trying to hit. Number 3 then is what we do is we do 90-day placements. Okay. So what would happen is, let's say you guys pay us, any rep that we give you,
They have to make it through 90 days. If they don't make it through 90 days, you guys get free replacements. Okay.
What does that mean? Not make it through? They don't get guys.
Make it through just means like they're not closing at least 30%, and then you guys just don't like them. I mean, simple as that. The way I view it is like you typically should know if someone's good in the first 30 days, max 60. So what happens is at the end of 60 days max, you guys are either like, yo, we want this guy or we don't. So once you guys get past 90 days, issues after that, I'm like, that's not on us because you said you liked him, he's performing. So it might, maybe something happens after, right? We can't be on the hook for forever, but I'm like, if they perform in 90 days, we'll replace them completely free. Okay. So keep in mind, once we bring these people on, we're helping you guys manage and get them to perform. So again, we're not just like a typical sales recruiting agency where it's like, here's the closers, good luck. And then if they don't work out, we just keep sending you more closers, which is lazy. What we're doing is we bring them in. And once we set up all the sales systems and processes and training, we're actually help managing them for you as well. It's like, we're not doing it forever, but that's part of the process. It's like, we're there to help coach these guys. And
when you say we, is it an account manager or who is, okay.
Right. So we put an account manager on your account. That account manager is working with all the reps, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. Now, that's pretty much the three things like we would do. So sales management, training, processes, making sure that's streamlined. So, and I'd say the biggest thing to take back to Luke, and so if he listens to this, is like figuring out how many closers you really need. Because right now it's up in the air. It's like, it's hard for me to know, like, do you really need 3? Do you need 2? Do you need 1? Do you need 0? You just like, I don't know. So that's
You'll send me this reporting, eh, Tanner? You'll send it to me?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Second thing is 100x interviews. So just keep in mind, you guys can do LinkedIn and Indeed all day, but you can't do nearly as many interviews as us. So if we're able to do 5 to 10 times more interviews than you, then I don't know if you've done this, but like the more interviews you have, the better the people you're going to get, because it's just a time game. If you're not in a rush, then you're good. The issue is you guys are probably in a rush. You guys don't have time to do those interviews we do. Okay.
Yeah.
Then also just like as a caveat, it's like whether you look at or if you look at us or you look at someone else, like how they built a company to the size you're wanting to get to. If they haven't,
what I should have done there is instead of like throwing that into the second pillar, I should just made a 4th pillar, right? Or I should have combined like pillar 2 and pillar 3. You don't really need more than 3 pillars. I just could like, hey, so pillar number 2 is 100x interviews and 90-day placements. So I'll explain how that works. I could have combined it. What I kind of did is I was realizing as I was taking the call that, okay, I'm going to sound we don't have a ton of these calls. And the way this call got booked was kind of weird and and you guys know I've been out of the country, like all that stuff. So I'm like doing this on the fly and I'm like thinking, okay, like, yeah, I'm telling him what he needs, but I'm not separating from everyone else very much. Okay. And if you guys even watch like some of these calls, like if I just would stick to my own structure, which is like, here's what they do, here's what we do, it would actually go better, right? Because what I'm doing is I'm just coming in, I'm like, all right, so pillar number 1 is this, here's what you need to do. And I'm like doing the list. So I don't like, it's funny because like sometimes I don't take my own advice and I'm the sales coach, which is just goes to show you like nobody's perfect. Everyone still makes mistakes. But if I just would stick to my own message of like, here's what they do, here's what we do, I'd close a lot more deals, right? Or I'd sound better and I wouldn't get caught in this place because as I'm doing, here's what they do, I'd be like, oh yeah, the opposite of that is here's what we do. Okay.
I would be a little more wary just because I think experience plays a big role because there's going to be nuance.
Oh, you're right.
There's nuances to the business that people just won't understand unless they hit that level. They're like, oh, it's all the same. It's all the same. It's like, it's not the same. Running a business at 500 is different than a mil, 1.5 and 2. It's just everything can change, right? Because it's just tighter on stuff. There's less issues. There's more people, there's more issues. There's more people, et cetera. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, the good news is like our fulfillment and product is 100% time.
Which is great. Yeah, which is great.
Yeah.
So number 3 then is the 90-day placement. So what that means is, again, I don't know if we're gonna bring on 2 guys, 3 guys, 4 guys, whatever. Every guy we bring on, you have that 90-day window. And so it's kind of like, we'll clear that out. So hypothetically, we could work with you guys. I mean, obviously we want to get this done ASAP, but let's say it took a year to get 4 solid guys. We'd work with you for a year if we have to. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So those are kind of the 3 main things. The only other thing,
90-day placement means like, if they're not satisfied within 90 days, we'll get rid of them.
I'm going to leave you for, because you're going to give this is like what I call process. Process is like, realistically, I mean, I'm not a huge window shopper myself. The reason is when you guys get on a bunch of these calls, realistically, probably most of the calls are going to sound somewhat similar. Or, yeah, we'll get you reps and we train them and shit like that. And it's like, yeah, because you're talking to similar companies. The way I make decisions with coaching or recruiting or agencies is just 3 things. Okay. First is experience. So we already talked about that. Us personally, we've been in business for 6 years now, 40,000 plus clients. We've done 70+ million in sales. Like we've been doing this a while. So if you have an opportunity to work with a company that's done more, I would tell you probably work with them. I only work with people or talk to people who've made more than me because that makes sense. I don't work with people who make less than me because
yeah, dude, after listening to what you're saying, it wouldn't make sense to work with you guys and right.
No,
I would just work with you guys. I have no clue what
Okay, so now I'm throwing in process, which I should have made my 3rd pillar, but I'm doing that because as I'm listening to the call, I'm like, okay, these companies are probably saying the same thing I'm saying. So like, what can I say to separate it? And so a lot of times I'm just thinking, okay, if we were all in the same room with 10 people selling the same thing, what can I say to separate us? I do this on most of my business owner calls.
I have no clue the revenue has done.
Yeah,
I mean, like,
it's not-
you guys,
It's not a shot at anyone. It's just like, if you had 10 people in the room and they all do something similar, part of what I would do to make decisions, like, well, who's actually done the most of what we're trying to do? And that would make a big difference for me, right? That's how I think. Number two is then specificity. Okay, so we kind of have this on both sides, which is great. So the first thing is like actually built a company to 2 million a month lead CEOs. Okay, which to be honest is an inferior product based on what you guys are selling, based on what I've heard. So you actually have a better product, so it should be easier. And then two is that I actually have a sales training and recruiting agency both. So I've seen it both from the recruiting side and I've seen it from the business owner side.
what does the lead CEOs do? Is that not what this is? I thought,
No, it is, but it's just business consulting. It's just business consulting. So like if you and your brother, let's say you and your brother came on the call and you're like, hey, we're $500,000 a month. What do we do? It would just be more of like strategy and concept funnels. It wouldn't be like closures and sellers. Now part of that is like what I'm offering here is like we give you that as well.
right.
All I'm trying to tell you is like a lot of the guys you talk to, they're just gonna be a sales training recruiting agency. They're not gonna have both sides of the coin. Okay, so that's
Yeah, no, I get it. That's awesome, man. It really seems like you built one company and it kind of went off the other. And that's kind of what we did too. Actually, that's what we did too. That's very simple.
So again, like that will just be, I think that'll just be helpful on the specificity part because you want to hire Michael Jordan to teach you tennis and you want to hire, Roger Federer to teach you basketball. Like people can be very good at what they do, but it doesn't mean they're very good at that thing. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that's a little different.
Okay. So that was specificity. Also notice like analogies help, stories help. So instead of just like, yeah, so you need someone who has specific expertise, like the Michael Jordan and like Roger Federer, that always like helps me when I sell. People like really understand that. They're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
On that standpoint. And then the third thing then is attention. So if you're looking at, say 10 companies, right? And they're all like, hey, here's what we're going to give you. How much attention are they going to give you? So the thing with us is we'll give you a dedicated account manager that's also working with the reps. So it's not just like, here's the reps, good luck. We're working with the reps. We're helping them build scripts. We're going over calls. We're reviewing. We're getting them inside our training portals. Like we're doing a lot to really help your team so that when we step out, you guys are ready to go. Now you can also pay us like a management fee or something if you wanted to, but usually people come to us, they're like, give us the reps. We'll hand the reps off. You do your thing. Okay. If
You guys offer sales team management too, not just the ones you bring on?
we could, but it's just obviously it's a lot more because it's like basically at that point, we're running your team for you completely. Right.
No, I get it, but we're literally looking to hire a sales manager. So like that honestly might make sense.
Yeah. So you could do that, or we can also help you find an in-house sales manager. Right. So it's whatever.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we have very
Dude, that's sick, man. Okay, but we're definitely gonna set up a call with. I'm gonna send him this recording for sure.
Sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So what I'd recommend you do between now and then is you figure out exactly what you guys want. So for example, like realistically, it's like try to figure out how many reps you might need. That might not be something you know right offhand, but the closer you can get to the right number, the better. Number two is then like, do you want like an in-house sales team, sales manager, or do you want like someone to just run it for you like agency style, right? That's two different things.
Yes.
And then we can set up another call. Now,
What was the difference of those two things, bro?
So if you have an in-house sales manager, he's your sales manager and he does that full time. Okay.
Yes.
If it's an in-house sales manager with us, he's going to work a lot on your account, but he's also going to have other accounts, right? He's not just going to be fully focused on you. I mean, that's really the big thing. It's like an ad agency. It's like, if you're a client for us and we run your ads, we'll run your ads, but that account manager might also have, 2 other, 3 other accounts. So it's just usually it just comes down to time.
How much time you need, really?
Yeah. And then it also comes down to like, again, like, do you want to have to be the one to like teach them everything and make sure they're doing it? Because again, like the benefit of an agency is you're expecting them like day one, they know exactly what to do. You don't have to babysit them. The downside is they're working on multiple accounts. The upside of having in-house is they're only working on your, the downside is like, you're the one who's managing them, you're babysitting them, et cetera. So we can do
Cost-wise, agency versus in-house cost-wise, what's the comparison?
like an agency is usually monthly. So it's like over time, the agency is going to cost more. In the short term, it might be like a little bit more to have an in-house guy because like that's a harder task, right? But because like think of it this way, if we do an in-house, if we did the agency option, it's like my guy's already ready to go and he knows what to do day one.
Yeah, I think how it could make sense is agency first, then in-house guy.
Yeah, it's whatever you guys want. But I think I think that's part of what you guys need to get clear on. So for me, before we have another call, it's like how many reps do you want for sure? Or if you're like, I don't know, but we need between this and this.
Yeah.
And then 2 is like in-house agency, whatever, right? And then I think we can do 1 of 2 things from here. Do you know when you and Lou want to get back on a call, like so I can reschedule you, or do you need to go back and kind of figure that out?
Yeah, Lou's in Bali right now, so we're dealing with the time zone issue.
That's what
Yeah, you're telling me.
So what I'm trying to do, there's like a saying that you don't ever want to take another call, or you don't ever want to finish the call without the next step. So I'm trying to schedule, but he's in Bali, et cetera. So it's not going to be able to happen. But if you could take a recorded sales call, if you're not talking to the decision maker, so the decision maker can watch it, that's a lot better than him going back and trying to tell him. Way better. So luckily I recorded this call and I sent him the recording.
So he's gonna review the call and like ASAP though, like within a week.
Yeah, so I'll just say,
And I can tell you, to start off, based on everything you're telling me, it honestly brings up more questions for me, which is a good sign. But I'm thinking it's gonna be like 1 to 2 closes to start, to be honest.
yeah, so like 1 to 2 closers. Yeah, so take this. And then yeah, I think really just so you guys make it easier on yourself, you guys can do all the calls you want. I don't give a shit. I mean, do whatever you want, but just genuinely when it's all said and done, no matter what everyone says, if you guys just look at the 3 things, experience, specificity, attention, that's gonna.
Then I leave him on that because that's what I want to stay at the top of his mind. because he's gonna get on a lot more sales calls here. He said he was. So I'm like making sure it's like, so just so you remember, like this is how you need to make your decision, right?
Be like probably who should go with it. And that's how I do coaching now. Because I've been on calls where the call's great, the process is it's terrible. And then I've been on calls where the sales are terrible and the product's great. So realistically, yeah, I haven't listened to the call, but if you guys can just put everyone on a piece of paper and you look at those three things, to me, that's like the easiest way to know who to hire. That's what I do, but just FYI.
Cool, man.
Okay.
Great.
Cool. I'll send this recording to your email. It'll probably be like a Google Drive file. And then
That's perfect.
yeah, I'll stay in touch with you and then we'll reconnect like whenever you guys are ready to all three get on a call.
All right, cool. And we'll get on a call with you, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, I mean, because I'm gonna stick through the process. So all I'd probably ask is before we get back on another call, please do all your other calls. And so if we get back on a call, you guys have kind of like chatted with everyone so that we kind of
Got it. Yeah. Dude, that's funny. That's funny. We have our closers say something very similar in terms of press.
yeah. But I mean, just realistically, it's like I don't want to get back on another call.
No, totally.
Because if I do, I'm gonna have to get on a third call. It's like I'm cool to do 2 calls, but I don't want to do like 3, 4, 5. You know, like I just want to keep it.
Okay. See how I frame it too? Go do all your other calls. And he even knows what I'm doing. It still works. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if they know what you're doing. But I genuinely don't also want to get on 3 calls. So I'm like, yeah, do all your stuff first. So when we get back on the call, you're ready to make a decision.
I got you now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, man. Do you have any other questions?
Okay. Questions. And then I'll have a little story for you guys. Does anyone have a question about what they just saw? If you're late to this call, by the way, for new people, this always goes in the group and you can watch it in the groups. Okay. So just as a FYI, does anyone have questions to start? Like, was there anything you guys saw that didn't make sense or you had questions about the process or what I did?
I have a question.
Yeah.
So there was a point where he said, he quickly mentioned it wouldn't make sense to go with you and to go with the other company. You kind of brushed that off for a second. I thought he was going to say like the other team, the other option's already better or you're already better, but you kind of brushed that off. Did you do that for a reason?
I think the part you're talking about is he says it wouldn't make sense to go with you and the other company. So like both.
Right.
And so that's why I was like, yeah, I mean, it wouldn't.
Okay. Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
But it wasn't one or the other. It was both.
Yeah, it was both. And I was like, yeah, that makes no sense, of course. Yeah, that's why I brushed it off so fast. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Anyone else?
And in regards to follow-up, it looks like you were going to wait for him to get back to you after he connected with and all the other fun stuff. What would you recommend in the same scenario to us where it's like, are we sending a recap email saying, hey?
Oh, no, you scheduled it right then. The only reason I didn't schedule it is he's not the decision maker. And I said, so like, when you guys want to talk next? He's like, well, dude, in Bali. It's like, so that means when we have the call, it's like, he's like dead asleep.
Yeah.
So even if we schedule something, it's probably not going to be the right time. So what actually happened is I sent him the recording. I'll show you guys the email. I sent him the recording and then he sent me back this long ass email. And then he said, we can talk this time and I scheduled it. So that's not preferable though, but in this situation, it's just pointless because like, I guess I could have soft scheduled. I could have been like, well, let's do this. Like, let's make a soft schedule and we can do that. But I guess I don't have a good reason why I didn't do it. That's probably, I mean, I should have done that. So you always want to schedule. So I don't have a good reason other than I don't know. Maybe I was too confident and I was like, he'll definitely show it to him. But it's better if you schedule because if you don't, I had this same situation happen on a different call and they ghosted me. And it was the same situation where they're like, well, let me take this back to the owners, etc. So I should have done a soft schedule because at least then you know they're ignoring you, right? They're ghosting you. But when you just like follow up and they say nothing, you're like, well, are you still like deciding? Are you still looking at it? But it's better if you can like go ahead and schedule, correct? Okay. Who else?
I have something else if no one else has anything.
Oh, hit me, baby. One more time. Go.
All right. So with this type of client, right, it looked like he can go so many different directions. Both of your companies, he looks like he can go with first your coach and then get his own coach. So let's say from a personal trainer standpoint, let's say someone's willing to train in person and online, considering nutrition, maybe not considering nutrition. If they're looking to go in so many directions, I didn't see you kind of gear it towards one direction. Did you do that for a reason? Are you letting him make the decision? Should I try to gear it towards what would be easier for me and still make the same amount of money? Or should I just let them kind of make their own decision?
So like when you said it didn't really seem like I steered it like a certain direction, like give me an example of like what
so he's like correct me if I'm wrong, or he kind of tried to ask you, like, I think it would be better to first go with your manager and then finally get mine. And you just kept saying, like, whatever you guys think is best, go talk to whatever you think is best. You didn't say,
Yeah, good question. Okay, so because it doesn't matter, because either way, I'm going to charge him money. So I literally could care less what he picks. It's like, we can do either one. So that's number one. And then number two is also like, he's not making the decision. So maybe that's why you see me laid back, because I'm like, it doesn't matter what he says. All that matters is that I pitch it properly, so that when Luke listens to the recording, he's impressed.
Got it. I took it kind of like, for my point of view, like, don't put pressure. Is that something that we could take away too? Like, you don't want to put pressure or sound like you're trying to gear them in a certain direction?
Well, it's because both options work, but like, let's say there wasn't an option. Let's say like we didn't do a sales manager. I'm like, dude, I would just push in my direction. So I'd go, well, dude, I mean, you don't want an agency to be your sales manager, because like they're going to have multiple clients that are not going to be fully focused on you, and they're going to probably have to charge you double. Like, don't worry about that. Like, we'll find you in-house sales manager for sure.
Right. Oh, but
I genuinely don't care. I genuinely don't care, because we can do either. So why would I fight? It's like, yeah, whatever you want to do. I don't care. Like, as long as you pay me, I'm good.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. What's up?
Hey Tanner, how's it going, man?
What's up, my guy? Hit me.
Hey, so slightly off topic. I just want to bring up something I've been struggling with lately. I've been getting a lot of yeses at the end of my sales calls. They're on board, great discussions, following all the methods and strategies. And the hiccup I'm having now is, and I'm wondering if I should be asking for a payment up front. Like, they'll say yes, not even saying I got to speak to my spouse, this and that. And I send them an email with the PayPal invoice, and then I start getting the hesitation. So should I be, and I've seen this in the sales, like the training videos, should I also be just collecting credit card numbers right there on the call?
Yeah.
Okay.
100%. So look, I was doing some training on this too. One of my buddies is a sales trainer, and I was texting him last 2 days, and I was like, yo, we keep having this happen on the call. I think this is how you should handle it, but what do you think you should do? So you drop the price. Okay. So you're like, the program's 10 grand. And they're like, yeah, sounds good. So you're telling me they don't even object. They're just like, yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. They're like, yeah, let's go for it. And
okay.
I'm like,
and then you hang up, and then you send them an email.
Yeah. So the email, it's like it goes directly from PayPal to them, and I attach a service agreement to it. So they have the service agreement that's signed by me and their name in it, and then the PayPal invoice. So they're getting two things. And in my mind, I'm thinking like they may want to look over the service agreement, make sure it says.
Don't do that. Yeah, but you're creating a lot of friction. Just don't do that. Just take the money, and then you can do it after.
Send the service agreement after.
Yeah, like if you can do them both at the same time, great. But like, the only people I really see do that, dude, is companies that are smaller, which technically you're smaller right now, but at scale, like if my sales guy's got 8 calls in a row, like he doesn't have time to like sit there and like, all right, fill out the service agreement, like go ahead and click on that. Like, it's too long. So the other thing is, like, if that happens, you're like, all right, it's 10 grand. They're like, okay, cool. You're like, awesome, dude. I'm so excited to get this going with you. I just need your credit card info. We'll get this rocking and rolling. And then if they start going, oh, well, actually, you can fight it on the call. Like, once you hop off the call, it's done. Like, you can't fight any objections.
Right.
You need to take the payment right over the phone, or at the very least, write their credit card number down. You can push the payment through after, but you should be taking the payment right on the phone.
Right. Okay.
Because we've had that happen too. I mean, it happens all the time. Like, I mean, my sales guys will be like, yeah. And they're like, oh, dude, yeah, I'm super stoked. And they're like, oh, it's 16K. And they're like, oh, okay. I mean, and they don't usually say yes. Like, are you dropping the price and then they say yes and they still don't do it?
Yeah.
Rare. That's
I do
rare.
the temperature check, and then, they're like, yeah, let's go for it. And I'm like, okay, so, well, it's going to be a $2,800 investment, ... And they're like, okay. And it's kind of like a big pill for them to swallow. I can read their body language. They're like, it's not oh yeah, let's do it here.
All right. So pause. So what's the rule before you go into price or spouse or all these other objections? What do we always say? We isolate. Is
Yeah.
there anything else? Is there anything else? So guys, listen, I'm going to give you 2 scenarios. Hey, so the price is 10K. All right, dude, hell yeah, let's do it. All right, you ready? Yeah, dude. Yeah. Okay. What about this guy? All right, the price is 10K. Yeah. Yeah, it sounds pretty good. Yeah. Sounds pretty good.
Right.
He's not bought in. You even just admitted it. You said, I watched their body language. It's a hard pill to swallow. So why am I
Yeah.
off the phone to send an email to someone who has not said yes? What he says is, yeah, shoot. Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah. Yeah. Like
Right.
they're not sold. So the reason they're not closing is because you haven't actually closed them. And then you send it to them after and they're like, yeah, dude, I'm good. Thank you.
Right. That's what my gut is telling me that's happening. The isolating part. So I'll do isolation if they identify an objection. Like they'll say
That would have came up if you took the money. That
Right.
would have came up. So look, well, let's do your scenario. Hey, it's 10 grand. Yeah, sounds good. Cool. What's the credit card number? Oh, well, can I see an agreement first? Well, sure. I mean, of course you can see an agreement, but before we dive into anything, like, how do you feel about the program? You sound kind of hesitant. Because guys, look, they have to have belief before you go after price or spouse, right? They have to believe that they have to want to do the program. Okay, let me give you an example of what's been happening in my sales team for elite closers. So elite closers gets 2 types of people typically, right? They get the young guns, or they'll get like, just depends. Like I'll say young guns, like younger people, or they'll get like maybe like a stay-at-home mom, or they get someone who's in a 9-to-5, but they hate it. Upside is usually they want to do it more because they really believe it's going to change their life. The downside is they usually have less funds. So let's go to the other side. The other side is we started running ads. So I'll show you an ad we started running. So what I did is I'm like, okay, like let's try to get people who have more money on average. So this is also how sales and marketing work hand in hand. So what I did is I started running ads like this. Okay. And so it says, it's not that one. That's the old one. I bet most of you guys actually bought from that. This one. If you make $100,000 to $300,000 as a sales pro, but click below. So what happens is they come on the call and we're like, yeah, does it sound good? They're like, yeah, it sounds good. You're like, cool, it's this much. And then they're like, okay, yeah, I'm just going to think about it. And the reason they're saying that is they don't have certainty, right? They're like, yeah, I make good money already. I don't know if this is really going to work. I don't know if I should really change. Yeah, I don't really feel like I don't like need to do it. I make good money. So when my guys go to get the price, or they go after the price, or they go after the credit card, it doesn't work because they weren't certain in the first place. So like when you're dropping the price, if they're saying, yeah, that's why you're like, hey, awesome. What's your credit card number? Because then if they're not certain, you'll find out. They'll be like, oh, well, I just need to think about it. You're like, oh, okay. Like that's no problem at all. Curious, like, what do you need to think about specifically? Like, what does the program not sound good to you? Like you seemed like you really liked it. What's going on? And then you start to figure out, is it a certainty issue, right? So a belief issue, or is it spouse or money or whatever? So all that's happening with you is they're not sure. And then you're basically hopping off the phone before you've closed them. That's also why some people do price temp checks, right? So like you can do a temp check. Like a lot of people do a temp check, like right in here. Before you price drop, they'll do a temp check like in between like overview and closing. That's why people do it though, because they're trying to see where their certainty's at.
Right.
Because like it's easy to close someone who has a price issue who's certain that they want to buy. It's not easy to close someone who's not certain. Right. So it sounds to me like they're just not certain. And then before you figure that out, you just hop off the phone and send them a link.
Yeah.
You got to close on the phone, dude.
Right.
If you didn't have to close on the phone, I would teach you guys how to close off the phone.
And do you prefer, so the 2 things I see is either collect the credit card number, like type it down, or send them the invoice and say, hey, did you get the email? I'll wait for you to.
Bro, just pull it up. Just pull up PayPal, type their shit in and process it for them. Just do it.
Yeah.
That's what you got to do. But all the calls I don't close, it's a lack of certainty. It's not like, it's not usually price or anything else. Like we'll be like, well, is there anything besides price? Like, no, it's just price. And then you're like, okay, well, what's your cash on hand? He's like, oh, I couldn't really tell you. It's like, you couldn't tell me or you don't want to tell me? Oh, I couldn't tell you. It's because he's not certain. He just says he is. So that's the thing too, is like, if you're prospects, you guys have to listen to tonality. If someone's like, yeah, it sounds pretty good, they're not certain. So if you start talking about price, you're like, oh, cool. So it sounds good. Like, yeah, it sounds good. You're like, cool. So if we figure out price, you're in, they're like, yeah. They're not actually certain, but you're hearing them say that, so you believe it. It's like, if they're certain, then they'll buy.
Right.
That's why they're not buying. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Someone says, do you find the younger guys are willing to figure out a way to do it, even though they don't have the money because they're hungry? Sometimes, yeah. I mean, it depends. Like, I mean, we had a guy the other day who was like, well, I want to make an extra $500 a month with my online training business. It's like, bro, like the amount of work you have to put in is not worth $500 a month. So like unrealistic expectations. We had another guy who he just wouldn't tell, like what he had. Like he kept asking him like, yeah, dude, like no problem. Like we can try to figure something out. What's your cash on hand? And he just wouldn't tell us, which just means he's not certain. So what they should do is just switch and go, well, dude, like, I mean, you want to do it, right? And sometimes you get people who they'll just, yeah, I want to do it. What's your cash on hand? I can't tell you. Okay, but you want to do it, right? Yeah. You sure? Yeah. Okay, well, what's your cash on hand? I just can't tell you. Like, there's not much you can do, but that's the issue, is they're not certain. That's why they're saying that. Said they wouldn't have to confirm it or send you a code or something like that. No, PayPal guys, like I can pull up an invoice right now, type your info in and process it. Well, back up. PayPal, if I'm really doing PayPal, I stay on the phone and then they pay it right there. So I apologize. So first off, I don't recommend PayPal for that reason. I recommend stuff you can put in their info and process it yourself. If you have to use PayPal, then you just send it to them and stay on the phone. You're like, cool, I sent it over. Can you just pull it up and pay it? And then if they don't pay it, then yeah, then it's the same issue. Okay. Go ahead. Yeah.
Going back to the ad that you posted earlier, would you recommend something like that also in like organic content as well? Like if I'm on Facebook, calling out specifically that specific audience like you're doing with that ad, or is that ad specific?
No, you can do it for sure. Like if you're doing a call to action, yeah, you can definitely do it. Yeah.
Okay.
100%. Yeah. Go ahead, my guy.
What's going on, boss? So going back to what you were talking about when somebody just won't give you the money at hand, right? Like how long do you try to stay in that dance before you just kind of end that? Or how do you end that if they just refuse to give it to you?
Yeah, I did that with yesterday because like it was going back and forth. So you're like, cool. So what's your so it's just the price? Yeah, cool. So if we figure the price out, you're in. Yeah. So what's your cash on hand? Oh, I can't tell you. Oh, okay. Like, what do you mean? You know, I'd have to look at stuff. Okay. Well, I mean, I'll make it simple for you. Like how much do you make in a month usually? And then how much is left over after expenses typically? Right. Oh, I don't know, this and that. It's like, okay, well, like, look, I'm just trying to help you. I'm not trying to hold you hostage or twist your arm. I just can't help you if I don't know that number. So like, are you sure you want to do it? Yeah, I definitely want to do it. Okay. So like I said, I just need to know kind of what that number is. Cause then that way I'm not saying you have to do it today, but I want to be able to figure out a way that like we can help you. Right. So like, what's that number? And then if I do that 2 more times and they don't tell me, then I just wrap up. So we had a call yesterday with where like the guy was just going in circles and I just like jumped in. I was like, hey dude, so look, like we want to help you. We definitely don't need you to do it. But the reason we're asking is like, we can customize a plan to fit your situation. But if we don't know what your situation is, we can't possibly customize it. And he was just like, yeah. No, I get that. We're like, okay. So like long story short, we can just wrap the call up, but like, you're not telling us. And we've asked a couple of times. And the reason we're asking is because we want to help. But if you don't answer, we can't help you. So like, for example, like what is like a feasible amount, or like, what did you think this was going to cost on the call? And he's like, oh yeah, like this and this and this, Like, I was just like, okay, man. So we just wrapped up. But yeah, I mean, what that's coming from, just so you know, is like, that's coming from uncertainty. It's not the price. He's not sure. So the price probably scared him, but he's like, he's not actually sure about the program. Because if he was, he would answer the question, but he's not. So then really what we need to do is we need to transition back to, okay, well, look, dude, in my experience, like when someone is hesitant to tell us what they have available, it's because they're not certain in the program. Now, I know you said you were, but like, what about the program is making you a little hesitant, or like what conditions are making you hesitant? And then like, same thing though, like he wouldn't answer us. So it was like, there's not much you can do if they're not going to help themselves. But when they won't tell you, it's because you're either saying it weird, right? So maybe you have money issues, because some people are like, oh, that doesn't work for me, Tanner. I'm like, well, you have money issues in your head, so you probably say it weird, right? Like you got to make it sound very natural. Like, yeah, like what's your cash on hand? I'm just trying to help you. And then the other part is just making sure that after that, it's just like, you know, it would just be, they're not certain. And, you know, most people are not certain. I mean, the industry standard is 30%. So like, you know, you're going to get more no's than yeses, but it's just trying to make people as certain as possible. And if you guys are getting bad looks or leads, so like what I'm going to do for this offer here is what we've kind of figured out. This one, what we've kind of figured out is our best looks are typically people who make like decent money, but they're not like super experienced sales professionals. It's like in the middle. So they're not super beginner, but they're not super experienced. So like the new ads I'm going to run are going to be something like, do you make 50 or 60, like, do you make $50,000 or $60,000 a year and you want to be a remote sales rep or something, right? Something, or like you want to leave your corporate job. Cause like those people are like more open and they're more certain that the thing we're going to give them will be what they want. But when someone's like, hey, I make 300 grand a year already, and we're like, oh, well, like we could try to help you make 300 grand remote. They're not very certain, right? Or they're like, yeah, but it's just really hard to get them there. So hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. And that's what my instinct was telling me. I would circle back to, like, you know, you sure there's everything you like about the program? Is there anything you feel like that's not there that needs to be there? And we would do that, but then they wouldn't answer that either, right?
Yeah, so it's just like those calls, there's not much you can do. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's not much you can do. So
okay, I appreciate you.
Yeah. All right, I gotta bounce. Appreciate you guys. I'm late for a call, but I hope you have a blessed day. And oh shoot, I was gonna leave you guys a story, but I don't have time. So I'll do that on our next call. But I had a great story for you guys, but we'll do it for next time. Okay. See you guys later. Have a great day.